I don't like this.
Emmett, when somebody offers you a gift, you should take it.
But this city will forever be in the devil's hands.
So, a few weeks ago, I did a poll asking you guys what show I should dive back into. Basically, it was between All American and The Chi. Two shows I've watched since the beginning, but somewhere along the way I just fell off of, and The Chi won the poll in a landslide. So I decided I was gonna dive back in, but I honestly couldn't even remember when I dropped off the show, but it was later than I remembered. So I dropped off it at season 5, episode 2, and I just had to watch one season to catch up. So I decided to do that, knowing that a new season of The Chi is coming out about 2 weeks now, August 4th, so I'm finally caught up. And also the official trailer for the new season just dropped about 2 to 3 days ago from when you're seeing this. So in this video I want to break down the trailer. I want to dive into the character Emmett. I want to talk about a big huge death that is definitely gonna happen in this season. We saw the casket, we saw the funeral, we saw the trailer, and I also want to talk about the relationship and bond between Kev, Papa, and Jake, because it looks like they're gonna be a big group and they're gonna be close knit like they used to be in the older seasons and during this season. So I just can't wait to get into all that. Also, I think my theory on who this death is, going back, I kind of re-edited and revamped some parts of it. I think I got a good theory on who this major death is gonna be based on how the story has been progressing and unfolding. Spoilers, it's gonna be the second person I mentioned. When you could skip to the death part and see who I'm talking about there, but just listen to the second person I mentioned and why I think it'll be them, because I think this is gonna be the biggest thing to look out for going into season 6 after we saw that in the trailer. And I also want to say right quick, I mentioned before that I dropped this show, but I can't even remember why. Maybe I felt it was boring because I kept comparing it to shows like Snowfall and Power, when this show is not really about that. It's more focused on the city as a whole and people grieving, relationships, trauma, growing up, things like that. So I was focused on the entire wrong things, and I just enjoyed this overall story, so I can't wait to dive into it again. I do want to say these are kind of just like gonna replace the weekly Power videos where I used to break down each episode each week, but I'm still gonna be dropping videos on other movies, TV shows, like Monday through Wednesday, and I believe the Chi episodes drop on Fridays, so that's when I'll do the reviews for those. So once again, if you still have any other movies, TV shows, anything you want me to like fully review, not do a week by week drop on, just like cover the whole show, movie, etc., leave those down below in the comments. But as usual, once again, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let's jump into The Chi. So first off, I think we clearly have to talk about Emmett first, as he's kind of the new main character of the show. Now, a lot of people seem to think The Chi doesn't really have a main character, and that's true to some extent. It kind of jumps from characters to characters. It's like a big ensemble, a big ass group of characters that's all doing their own thing. But I think Emmett is kind of the pseudo main character. After Brandon, after they killed him off the show, we all know why that happened. He kind of stepped right into that role, and I think he's picking up where it left off, where Brandon was about to get caught up with Duda and all of them. Emmett is going right into that role. Like I said, he owns Smokies now. Duda says he wants to make it a franchise, push it all over, but we know that's gonna come with a lot. So it seems like he's gonna have the biggest stories in season 6. And once again, like I said, he just seems like he is the new main character. Now, within the trailer, there are about 3 to 4 interesting clips or things we hear and see involving Emmett throughout the entire both trailers and teasers we got over the last 2 weeks. Number one, we see Duda hand him a gun. Emmett said he doesn't really like this. Duda said it's a gift, take his gift, and things like that.
I don't like this.
Emmett, when somebody offers you a gift, you should take it.
And that clip is very important because then we also see him in a trailer pointing the gun at someone. Now, this is probably going to be the biggest moment, the biggest highlight or thing to look for going into season 6, because we also see in a trailer later a casket. Now, we're going to talk about that in its own section, the possibilities of people I think will actually die and who could that funeral be for. We're going to get into that later, but let's stick to Emmett. So like I said, we saw two distinct different areas, different clips, different clothes where he had a gun and one where he was pointing a gun. We also get a scene of him in bed with Keisha. I'm guessing the job is done. They're telling him keep his mouth shut. He can't say anything. He's hiding something from her. So they're gonna have a big reveal, and it could possibly be that he has something to do with this debt, that this major funeral we're gonna have, Emmett caused it. Maybe he was the one who pulled the trigger. It's just gonna get very interesting with his character. And once again, I think this was the direction they were pushing for Brandon to go when he was the original main character. But now, like I said, they put Emmett in that role, and honestly, I'm enjoying it so far. Like I said, he's my favorite main character, probably because he's honestly probably the most relatable character in the entire show, because the kids, Papa, Jake, Kev, they're kind of too young and their stories are still minimalistic, except for Jake. What happened in season 5 for him was crazy, but then all the other adults are kind of like older, enjoying their life, or killing their love, things like that, focus on the community. So he's kind of the most relatable character, and I think that's why people feel like he's the main character. But yeah, he's easily going to be the most important piece in season 6, and all eyes is going to be on him to see if he's the cause of that major debt we see in the trailer. I do want to say we do see Duda kill someone, or we hear a gunshot and we see Emmett jump out his seat in the trailer, but I don't think this is that major debt. This might just be a regular character, a character we don't really know, something to make sure that Emmett is in this business with him, something to just have on him, basically. I don't think this is gonna be that big kill, because it don't feel like that moment. Like, it don't feel like nothing led up to that. It feels like that was a random character that just got killed off. He probably blackmail him, get him to sign some contracts or something, take all his money away, or something where he lose Smokies and all his business if he decides not to go through with this. And I think that's gonna put him in a position where he got 3 kids, he has Keisha's kid, so he has a whole family to take care of. I think that will put him in a position where he just has to do this. Now, the dead, who really could it be? Now, it obviously has to be one of the main cast or something like that, because a few other characters died throughout the entire show and they don't have these big funerals. So it has to be someone that would gather the whole community, have all our main cast actually come to and come out. So that's a very important detail. For example, Q, he died in the last season. Dude, I killed him. Did they have a funeral? Fuck no, they just got rid of the body. So this has to be a person that has a lot of family or a lot of importance to the story for them to have a funeral for. Once again, just like they did for Brandon when they killed off Jason Mitchell's character, they had a funeral for him at the beginning of one of the seasons, because it's a very vital character to the story. They can't just move on without doing that. So if they're having a funeral scene, that narrows it down, but not really. So let's make some predictions of who it could be. Now, I think at the top of a lot of people's list is probably Trig, or Victor, I should say. He's running for city council, and him and Duda are at odds currently. I'm pretty sure Duda knows it was him who put out the video of him beating the shit out of Gemma's dad. I can't even remember his name. So he knows he put out the video. He was the only one with access to it. So they're gonna have big problems going into the next season. Also, it was Trig who helped Duda get rid of Q's body. So I want to see how that goes into play in the next season. But I'm pretty sure what's gonna happen is this is gonna cause a rift, and Duda is probably not gonna want Trig to win at city council. He's not gonna want him in that high position, and it might be Emmett. It might come to Emmett having to take him out. Next up, a top character I think it could be is Bakari, because we see in these trailers he's getting pretty close to everyone now. After in season 5, he was pretty much on a rampage. Lanae, caused Jake and Gemma to lose their baby, so on and so forth. But we see he apologized to them. He's been close to Papa. He likes Lanae. So he's getting pretty much close to the rest of the cast. We see in the video or in the trailer them going to prom together and things like that. But also, if you guys remember, at the end of season 5, it was Duda pulled up to him on the street, gave him some money, and told him he works for him now. He's going to be his eyes and ears on the street. So this could put him in another dangerous position where he finds out information he shouldn't have, or he withhold information from Duda. He's playing both sides. He wants to get out the game, but Duda doesn't want to let him because he's with Lanae now, and she says she doesn't want to be with a criminal. So as their relationship develops, he might want to get out, and Duda just doesn't let him. Also, I want to point out there's this little short ass clip where it shows the police behind him. He's driving really fast, really hard, so he really could get into a car crash or anything like that, die from that. And once again, he's getting close to the rest of the characters, rest of the cast, so I think he'll still attract a big funeral. It'd be a big moment because he's probably one of the biggest characters in the show right now. So it also could be from this little scene where he's running from the police and something bad just happened. And that adds up because there's also a small clip that shows Lanae hugging Kev's mom, his other mom, and it looks like they're in some sort of hospital. So this all could lead up to that, where he gets hurt or damaged or he dies or anything like that. So this scene could be very important too. So those are probably my two biggest choices for the deaths, Triggs and Bakari. Now the thing about Trigg is he's running for city council, like I said, so if he was to die, it would draw a large crowd for a funeral and be hella impactful, especially because this would be Jake's second brother that died. So those are my two choices for who this funeral could be for. You guys can let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, but let's move on. And the last thing, like I said, I want to talk about is the relationship between Kev, Papa, and Jake, because it seems like this season they're giving them a lot more shit to do together, and this is just about to be so lit. Some of the best moments, funniest moments from the earlier seasons is when they give them all something to do together throughout the whole season. Because lately I feel like it's been fragmented, or they don't really do much together. Then they pop out every once in a while with each other in an episode, and they're supposed to be best friends. So if this whole season they're spending time together and doing shit, which it looks like they are, we see them at prom, like I said, we see them graduating, we see Kev getting his new apartment and all that. So it looks lit. It looks like they're gonna be around each other for majority of the season. Also getting close to Bakari, like I said, so he might really be that major debt. So I'm just gonna enjoy this season, putting them all back together, because like I said, some of the funniest moments came from when they were a group. I remember in the earlier seasons they got high on some shit, and one of the jokes that just had me dying, and I don't even know why, is they was high and they was playing the game, and I think Kev was like, do you think people in China call Chinese food regular food? And I was just dying because Papa be on their ass when they say stupid shit. So if they're gonna be focused on that for them the entire season, that's just gonna be dope. That's gonna be lit to see, because once again, I feel like they separate their storylines or what they're doing a lot, and then they bring them back together, and their conversations be more like exposition and filling people in on what happened, things we already seen, instead of them having natural conversations about what's going on, them just being boys. So if they get back to that this season, I think it'd be pretty lit. Once again, like I said, it looks like they're going to prom, they're graduating, they're growing up, so I can't wait to see all that. So overall, that's it for this video. I think me actually taking a break and dropping the show allowed me to jump back into it and get more excited and interested in it, make it more fresh again, because there's a lot to look forward to going into season 6. Like I said, I think Emmett and Bakari probably going to be the two most important characters to see how they develop and what happens to them by the end of the season, because Emmett could be going down a dark, wrong path, and Bakari, I ain't gonna lie, I think he might be that fatal, that funeral we see. I think that might really be him, based off all the scenes I saw when I really broke down the trailer, I'm starting to think more and more that it's him. But also I'm interested to dive back into the friendship and the group of Papa, Kev, and Jay. Like I said, give them more to do together because they be spreading it all throughout the season, and they don't really, the scenes they do have be so short-lived where they're in the car together or something like that, be like a 15-second scene. So that's gonna be cool to see. But let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions, what you think will happen in season 6, who you think the debt will be. Let me know all that down below. As usual, leave a like, comment, subscribe, drop recommendations for other shows and movies you want to see me talk about. But I'm out.